Hello, good peoples, and welcome back to the Legend of Grimrock. When last we left the A team, they were getting beset by a pair of adult herders, which is why we're opening on the start menu. Oh, the pause menu, I mean. Have at it. Adult herders are ultimately not that difficult. That's the wrong combination. Not that difficult, but the problem is every time they attack, they leave a poison cloud. And they themselves are immune to poison. Also, I looked it up, this is how you cast Fireball. Ano shrugs off poison pretty quickly. I think poison severity actually depends on the kind of enemy, and herder venom isn't, or poison rather, herder poison isn't as bad as spider venom. And Aranax continues to somehow be first place for leveling up, I don't know why. Come along, matey. Oh, they can attack in every direction, that's why I'm not trying to flank them. Well done. Also, nice poison resistance, I know. It does mean that fighting these guys is a little dull, while you just wait for them to walk next to you. Actually, let's check what Fireball does in damage. 83. That's not bad. Anyway, levels for Azanaka. He is... Do I continue with... No, like I said, I'm going to stick with daggers until Aranax has decided to go into light armors. That's 3 entire levels I have to dump into him to get light armors. I think what I'm going to do is get Fireball up to 24, Fire Magic, to get Greater Fireball. Oh, and I actually remembered what the... I say remembered, I looked up what the combination for this is. That is the basic combination for enchantment, and then the respective element, so fire in my case. Now they're fire arrows. Unfortunately I enchanted all of them at once, so I don't have any to dump on Valentine's learning it. And the other spell I just got was this? Yes, I think so. Because I got the out of energy message rather than fizzle, or... No, fizzle is the this isn't a valid combination message. Out of energy means it is, but you, well, haven't got the energy. And finally there's unable to use this spell, which is, it's the valid combination and you have the energy, but you aren't the correct level to use it. Yeah, that just tells you that blood drops make energy potions. And it's a much needed flask. I'm actually going to turn that one into a second health potion so both of my front lines can heal in a hurry. And I've really got to sort my inventory out because I want to be able to reach all this stuff as quickly as possible. That'll do. That's the one I just threw away. And I hear skeleton bones. Didn't like that. Yeah. Didn't like that either. Archmage! You're easy to level up. You just got... Yep, that would be... Oh no, she actually got a special thing. I'll show that off. And you are just... Actually, I'm going to close this so I don't get shot. Hey, they were shooting at me. It's a good thing I closed that door. You are just going into unarmed combat for the moment. Basically, I'm going to go entirely into unarmed combat until I get to level 42, so a long way off, and then everything else goes into athletics. 3-point technique isn't good. It's not a reliable enough source of damage, what with the whole randomly activating, and the exact mechanic behind it isn't tremendously helpful based on how it works. Anyway. What's the combination? Is it this? We're invisible! Hello! You can't see us. And because you can't see us, stabby stabby! I mentioned a while back there was a fun combination that Azanaka and Archmage would be great for, and that's it! I can turn invisible, walk behind enemies, and backstab them. Ouch! The definition of back is a little generous at times. You know, I'm not complaining. It's better than the alternative, certainly. Come on, you're about one hit from death. Thought so. And they drop frost arrows, which is good in a way because they're better than regular arrows, but also bad in a way because it means I can't turn them into lightning arrows to get her spellbook completed. Oh, and let's just show it off since I've got the energy now. It's Fire Shield! Everyone gets plus 35 resistance to fire. That's pretty good. Can't really complain about that. Anyway, finally getting to the point. This level is called the Archives, and we have here Time and Tide, the Beast Gardens and Menagerie, the Catacomb, and Trails of Thought. I thought this level was called Trails of Thought. No, it's called Pillars of Light. I named the episode after that, after Trails. I apparently misnamed it. Also, I missed a secret of sorts back there. It's one that I would have wanted to put off anyway. I'll go back for it at some point. And some point is right now, just so I don't forget about it. Oh, and just in case you're wondering about, well, how am I going to get back considering the herders? Once both herders die, the door opens up. Okay, it's all well and good saying you're going to go back and get the secret. I don't remember where the secret is. There is a button on a wall somewhere around here which actually opens up another passage. That startled me. Now, this is one of the things that I was meant to look up before I started this episode, but the fact that I was locked in there with the herders, and I'd forgotten that was going to happen, meant that I wasn't in a position to actually go back immediately, so I forgot to do my research. Still, like I said, it is something I would put off, and just so that I don't bog the entire episode down, I'm going to put it off again and scribble down a note to myself, which I'm doing right now, which is also why I'm walking to a wall, because I wasn't looking at the screen. I'm going to write down a note to go and find that. And I know what's down there, and I know that it's nothing useful in any way because of the way we built our party. And if I'm quite frankly honest, it's a thing which isn't very useful even if you have built your party the correct way. But it's still a secret worth finding. Because it's a secret and secrets are worth finding. Still, we'll start off with Time and Tide. They wait for no man. Unfortunately for Time and Tide, half of our party is women. Alright. As the name implies, this is a timing puzzle. When we step on this, tick, 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 and then a teleporter appears. My god, that's a lot of torches. I wish I had a box or a sack or something. Still. 1, 2, 3, go. Bit too far, methinks. I threw that, and it looks like it clanked off the wall. Where did that land? Oh, I just remembered the problem. This is one that doesn't come up much, but it is a relevant thing. Throwing an item by clicking it in the top half of the screen makes it go less distance than if you put it in your hand and right-click to throw it as a weapon. 2, 3. Too slow. My bad. 3. There we go. That doesn't come up very often, but it is important when it does. It's a very easily overlooked little detail of the game. Oh, hello. Look, if you're going to stay at a distance, I'm going to do this to you. Oh. I one-shot him. Very well. Still, this button makes a teleporter appear. Apparently only when things are on it. And bam. It sends people to a different place to throwing knives. It's the Book of Infinite Wisdom. And obviously we're going to give it to the wisest member of our party, Ano. Yes, it's just a straight 5 skill points, and since she needs to put so many points into that before she starts... Actually, now that I say it, yeah, it really should have gone to Aranax, but... favoritism, to be perfectly honest. It's rampant. I'm just going to quickly look down there to get my throwing knife back. I'm sure their ankles appreciate it. And hey, a baked maggot. Definitely worth it. I really, really need to clear your inventory out because there is... You always want at least one free space just in case you need to pick something up. And this is probably going to involve us falling. Because this puzzle works like that closes, that closes, that closes, that closes, and then they start opening up behind you. So it's a pretty straightforward, but still dangerous one. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Yoink! Oh shit. Please, 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 please. Okay. Well, we got the chitin mask. Like I said, we get better. The leather cap is plus... Holy shit, earthquake. Those happen sometimes. The leather cap was plus 4, and that's the same one that Aranax is going to wear eventually. This is plus 9. It's quite a bit heavier, but honestly, who cares? It's over double the defense. This is exactly the sort of thing that Aina was looking for, and I think this might actually be the sort of gear she's wearing at the end game. We have many crow urns and a scroll. Considering that we came all the way through here and the scroll was sitting right at the end, one gets the feeling that's the important part. Yeah, these things aren't very tough. Oh! Aina activated a special. Oh, come on. You're so obviously nearly dead. Stop pretending you're not dead. Thank you. I appreciate it. Oh, you twat. Sorry. No, I agree, Mr. Crowburn. That was a tremendously terrible gendered insult. No, well. The point stands even if I killed him. But never forgiven. It is a somewhat cryptic message to be found on a scroll at the end of a long and treacherous series of puzzles. But that really just implies to me that this isn't the sort of scroll I'm just going to throw on a pressure plate and forget about. I'll come back for that guy later. And I'll come back for this scroll later too. Next up, the Beast Gardens and Menagerie. I have a feeling this will involve fighting. Though, to be fair, that's a bit of a, standard guess, regardless of where I'm going. That's the inverse of the puzzle from before. We have to block the passage of the specially lighty bolt spell. Anyway, straightforward puzzle here. Button on the outside opens this up. Pressure plate closes it. Button opens it if you're silly enough to get yourself locked in. And what we've got to do is create a menagerie. We will manage our non-imaginary menagerie. Come on. Look at him, he's so sad. Ow. It's like a zoo. A slightly less depressing zoo with the undead. This way, buddy. Thank you. Where is the other cell? Oh, and don't worry if you kill them, because I believe they infinitely spawn in this area. Though they're not very tough enemies. Hello? That is what opens up from having them all pressed. So what did that button I found do? Okay, you go away. I said go away. Thank you. What did that do? It might have been on a timer. Oh no, here it is. some pit root bread, some leather boots, which are nothing special, and some ring gauntlets. Still no shirt. I swear I am not deliberately withholding shirts from Archmage. Well, I mean, I am, but it's just because I haven't found enough shirts, not because if I found a shirt I wouldn't give her it. And that's the end of the Beast Menagerie Badoozy. But still dreaming. And my light spell ran out. I'm very good at words. That's half the level completed. Next half is the Catacomb and Trails of Light. Ooh. We've got company. I was willing to take a stab if it meant I could get... I was about to say if I could get past them out of the room, but it turns out that was not where that led. That led to more stabs. Yeah, I can tank hits from these guys. Tanking hits is bad, but honestly these guys are starting to get a bit outclassed. If they even hit me at all, they don't hit for much. Yeah, 4 damage. I can... Even Azanak is not scared of 4 damage. He's got 74 HP. We are down to stabbing though with our spears because the mages are amazing briefly. Against solo enemies they're great. In packs they do tend to run a bit dry on magic. Ow. Thank you. Just more fodder for holding down switches. Fortunately for us, they opened up the passages when they came in here. A burrow rat shank. And as we took that off, you might have seen that opens up, or rather closes up, that one. And even Aino's getting burdened down. So that's the gist of this area. Travel through, get into a lot of fights with the undead, and find where all the pressure plates are. Because once they're all taken off, we'll be able to cross over. There is definitely secret buttons on the walls around here that I'm going to miss. A note! It seems I'm not the first prisoner to go through these ancient tunnels, and in case I'm not the last, I decided to write my thoughts down and discoveries. Although I certainly do hope that no one else needs to suffer through these dungeons. Turum. He left a note before. If you recall, he wrote about how he'd upgraded his armor and dropped his greaves down the pit by mistake. We're going to find a few notes by Turum as we continue. Somehow he managed to solo the dungeon. I wonder what this lever will do. I'm going to leave you alone for a bit just to let the mages get their energy back. Also, a bit of a spoiler for what the item is that I missed. Crossbow quarrels. Quarrels. That's a hard word to say when you're as bad at speaking as I am. What did that open? I can hear noises over here. It opened your cage, didn't it? Lack of energy. She's still carrying that energy potion, and she will continue to do so because one day we'll have a fight serious enough for me to need her in a hurry. Right, I'm pretty sure that what I've got to do is find that button again, press it, and then sprint down here to where they came out of. There we go. Before it closes up again. It's the Flare Feather Cap. Protection +1, Dexterity +2. For lack of a better target, we now have the world's most dapper looking ninja. And a fireball. I mean, I can cast Fireball, but I'm going to run out of magic eventually. Take that off, and that's the second of the 3 switches. And in fact, the third one we've already seen because I said I was going to put it off. And then I spent all my magic anyway. I could have taken a nap, but that's not how I roll. Stabby stabby. Good God, they're loud. and vulnerable to backstabs. You can see Aino and Azanaka are starting to come into their own against these guys. The massive defenses is no longer a problem. Missing is a problem. Come on. There we go. A sack! I'm more excited about the sack than anything else really. Leather gloves, they're nice. Who needs gloves? Archmage needs gloves to make up for the lack of shirt. Tar beads, they're useful. Burrow rat shank, that's mediocre food. You can have that, and it can be a sack of torches. At some point I'm probably just going to have to dump food that I'm carrying, simply because even Aino can't carry this much weight. She is incredibly strong, but she's not infinitely strong. Also, I just noticed there's a bone amulet here. Still doesn't do anything, but now we've got 2 of them. And I believe that was all 3. So that's the 3rd of the areas done here. And our 3rd scroll. This one reads, to depths beyond measure. Okay, meet the lurker. I forgot that's when they show up. Aside of startling you and mysteriously enticing Aino the Minotaur, the lurkers can inflict paralysis when they hit you. Paralysis prevents you from acting. Oh, there we go. Aino fell into it. Aino got... I'm not making the joke, sorry. You know exactly what joke I mean, and I'm not making it. I'm letting you make it. That way, I'm not to blame. Yuck. God, that threw me right off. Trails of Thought. Here we go. And I think this is one of the most infamous puzzles in the game. Because aside of slowing my game down to a crawl with all the particle effects, people don't seem to grasp this one so well. It's actually very simple. Every time you tread on a switch, all adjacent tiles toggle whether or not they have a wind gate on them. Step in a wind gate, you get teleported out. So what's the solution? Never step on a tile which doesn't have a wind gate next to it. So we'll step this way, and this one turns off. This one will turn off when I step on here, and so forth, letting me work my way around, like so, until I found the button. And hang on, I don't want to screw this up, otherwise it'll look like a right numpty. I've probably screwed it up. Unless I do this, which will let me step down there, and then there. Ta-da! And that's the Trails of Thought puzzle, which catches everybody who plays this game for some reason. It's a pretty standard game puzzle. Right, now let's actually dump these frost arrows like I said I would. Okay, this is one of the rare ones that doesn't actually activate from items. Thank you, game. So this seems nice and straightforward. When you tread on a plate, the plate opposite it raises. Or lowers. It toggles. So I've got to get it into a situation where I can move forward and also grab that key. The trouble is, if you understand binary logic, you're going to run into a problem here. I can't actually get that open. Oh, closed, so that I can walk on it while this one's closed. Incidentally, button. The button is not related. That was just me actually noticing a secret. It's the Venom Edge. Unfortunately, the Venom Edge is not actually a dagger. It casts Poison Bolt. If for some mysterious reason I wanted to cast Poison Bolt, I would ask Aranax. Here, however, is the secret of this. You can't get to the key immediately. Because what you got to do, because if you keep stepping off and on like that, you're going to keep toggling it the wrong way. You've actually got to step over to this tile so that you can alter it so they're actually in sequence with each other. I swear there is a logic there. But if you can't follow the logic, then just understand it as you've got to strut on that tile. Also, what are you doing here? This doesn't even have anything to do with the undead. You should be in the catacombs. Or the menagerie. Ah, this one. I remember this. Let's just grab the scroll first. The scroll says, by his call. Okay. Do you see that button on the wall there, this wall section? We're going to have to do some awkward moving. Oops. One too far. Because what I'm going to have to do is run here, turn, press that, and then get off before it drops me. And then back, and then down below the wind gate. And that's how you get down here. Also, if we'd fallen down the pits before, we'd have met this lot. And when I take this key, they're going to attack me. So what I'm actually going to do is take a rest so the mages can unleash the full might of their arcane firepower. How long do you have to sleep, Archmage? I'm just going to eat, not because I need to so much as because I am getting annoyed by how much my inventory weighs. Very well. Oh. Me good at game. Piss off, mate. Oh. That's the first time I told an enemy to piss off and they did. I think I hurt his feelings. Ow! Well, he hurt my Minotaur. Baked maggot. I keep picking those up and I'm not sure I've ever eaten them. Aina was weighed down by how many baked maggots are in her inventory. There's only one, but I would feel pretty weighed down by owning a baked maggot. I have no desire to do so. Okay, for absolutely no reason whatsoever, because I never have a reason for doing this, I'm going to save my game. I'm going to gather up my scrolls. Where did I drop the final one? Rearranging inventory. I did pick it up, didn't I? Did I put it in someone else's inventory? No, here it is. No, that's the Restore Energy Potion recipe. I did drop them all here, didn't I? Please tell me I didn't forget to pick one up. There it is. Now, I've been skipping over this text, but put to sleep, but still dreaming. Eternally imprisoned. To depths beyond measure. Crimes forgotten, but never forgiven. Cavern still echoing by his call. Run! Meet the Scavenger. I'd actually been so long without playing I've forgotten what it's called. Stat-wise, in terms of HP and defense, these are the weakest enemies in the game. Numbers-wise, they are the most abundant enemy in the game, and their bite is actually pretty tough. Yeah, they hit Ano for, what was that, 16 damage? Ow. They attack fast. And look how many there are. Attempting to fight these things without backing into a corridor and forcing them to single file you is a one-way ticket to the game over screen. And of course, numbers mean the mages are out of energy. Retreat. They're running dry. They're surprisingly hard to hit as well. Oh, there's more of them. Okay, fall back completely. Have a snoot full of a firebomb. Oh, Jesus, they're still coming. Ow! They nipped my ankles on the way out. Ooh, Nelly. Yeah, if I hadn't run, I'd have been facing every single one of them in that central pillars room where I was placing the scrolls. That's difficult. That means I'm getting attacked on 4 sides at once, instead of 1. Okay, a lone scavenger isn't scary. I will say the game has a few moments where you might think, well, how the hell was I meant to survive that, because how could I have known about it? Do I want to put points in the way? Thank you for messaging me on Discord and getting the sound in the game. I was wondering if I wanted to put some points into staff defense. But I did not, because staff defense is... oh god, there's still more of them. Not that great. I want to be able to fully invest into it. Piss off. Wretched little things. This place was infested with the bloody things. Still, down here is a battle axe. It's a very impressive weapon. It's not a weapon we use. Yeah, they came scuttling out of these 2 awfulness holes. A tar bead. And the lever, which is what we were looking for. Because the lever is how we open the way out of here. But you may recall we also found the gear key. Which gets Aino her very own... good god. I like cockroaches. If you can see one, there's 50 of them. Which gets Aino her chitin greaves. Aino is slowly shifting from wearing an entire cow to wearing an entire bug. Rat shank. We eat rats. It's called a frostbolt. None of us are water mages. The frost bomb. That's a very nice item. It's a great panic button. But all in all, that was level 4. Yeah, level 4 of the archives. I'm going to step down here into level 5. The vault. No, it's called the hallways. It's not called the vault. What am I talking about? Thank you all so much for joining me. I will pick this up again the next time. We will explore this level. And, well, actually the first thing we're going to do is actually go back up 2 floors and pick up the crossbow I very unsubtly hinted about. And also show off another enemy as I do so. Do join me for that, and I'll catch you all next time. See you!